Hey guys, welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. For today I wanted to make an updated guide on the best echo set and main echo to use for each character, which I made back in version 1. Version 2 brought in 5 new echo sets to the game, all containing fairly substantial effects. Naturally, the question everyone's going to be asking is how that changes the current roster. Who wants the new echoes and who prefers to keep the old ones? In this video, I'll be going through every character in Wuwa and giving you their best echo set, their best main echo, and the stats to aim for. It should be noted that some characters can use different echo sets depending on their role, and of course it also depends on what weapon you have on them. I'll be going through each character pretty quickly seeing as we have a lot to go through, so I'll be posting timestamps throughout the video in case you need to find a certain one. With that said and done, let's begin, and just like before, I'll be going through each element one by one. Starting in the Aero category, we have Jiyan, whose echo set of choice is still Sierra Gale, although he has an option for a new main echo in the form of Nightmare Monkey, which instead of a transformation is a summon, making it usable without interrupting his own rotation. It also gives 12% arrow and heavy attack damage bonus by simply having it equipped. That being said, regular Monkey is still not that bad of a choice by virtue of transform echoes typically generating more energy than summons. Either way, when in doubt, Monkey. For main stats, go either crit stat on 4 cost, arrow damage on 3 cost, and attack on 1 cost. Substats crit first, then energy, then attack percent, and then heavy attack damage percent in that order. Prioritize energy up until around 120 to 130 give or take. Aalto hasn't changed all that much with the sole exception of now having access to the Nightmare Monkey if you want to build him for damage. I recommend Moonlit Clouds though with the Impermanent Terran. Regardless of what set you pick, main stats go either crit stat on 4 cost, arrow damage on 3 cost, and attack percent on 1 cost. Substats go energy until 130 to 140, then crit stats followed by attack percent and then basic or skill damage. Jianxin is almost exactly the same as Aalto in that an argument can be made for you to either go full support or if you want to make it do some DPS, you can also do that. Once more, I prioritize support when they focus on getting her ultimate off as often as possible. So in that sense, go Moonlit Clouds with Heron or Sierra Gale with Nightmare Monkey. Crit on 4 cost, arrow damage or energy on 3 cost, depending on how good their subs are, and attack on 1 cost. For subs, go crit, energy, attack, and then liberation damage. Yangyang once more same thing, although compared to the previous two I would say stick to Moonlit Clouds at all times. In that case, Heron for main echo of course, and then for main stats go crit, arrow, and attack for 4, 3, and 1 cost respectively. Echo subs, crit, energy, attack percent, and then friggin' whatever else you feel like. Don't expect Yangyang to really do any DPS. Alright, moving on into the Electro category, we have Changli Yao first. As a long rotation attacker, you were able to go either Void Thunder or Lingering Tunes depending on how good your stats are, but following the new echoes, Void Thunder is noticeably better. Go for the new Nightmare Thundering Memphis. Still transformation, but the passive bonuses are great to keep. Main stats go crit, electro, and attack for 4, 3, and 1, and for subs, pick up crit, attack percent, and then liberation damage or flat attack. You actually don't really need to spec energy on this guy. Okay, Yinlin. She got buffed a decent amount, mostly because of the new Empyrean Anthem set. The Empyrean Anthem set gives a ton of damage on coordinated attacks and buffs the active character's attack, making Yinlin probably the best sub DPS in the game. For Empyrean, go Hecate or Nightmare Tempest Memphis, either will do. Main stats go crit, electro, and attack for 4, 3, and 1, and for substats go crit, energy until 120, 130, then attack percent and skill damage in that order. Cucumber's best set is still gonna be Void Thunder, but thankfully the new Nightmare Thundering Memphis is a nice upgrade for him. For main stat go for crit, electro, and attack for 4, 3, 1, then subs go for crit, energy until about 130, and then attack and liberation damage in that order. Nothing particularly changed about Calciferol apart from his new main echo, which is indeed a benefit to his damage as you don't even need to use it to get the stats. Lumi just came out, but she still got a few adjustments. Void Thunder for echo set, and you can use either Nightmare Memphis as your main echo. Same rule of thumb for main stats, crit, electro, and attack on 4, 3, 1, and substats go for crit, energy until 50 to 60, her requirements are a bit steeper, and then attack percent and basic attack damage. Yuanwu. Honestly this guy's just so weird. Given that he does coordinated attacks, I would recommend Hecate main echo with the Empyrean set, and then just the usual main and substats, only switch out attack for defense. I don't know, I feel like people called him garbage, and then called him amazing when Jinhsi came out, and then called him garbage again like a patch later. Hopefully with the new echo set he's a bit better, but the problem is that his follow-up attacks were never known for damage, just frequency. Anyway, let's move on. Continuing into Fusion, we have Changli. Changli got a nice cozy buff in the form of Nightmare Inferno Rider. Previously, her main issue is that she had no good main echo to use. Now she does. We're still using the Molten Rift set, and for main stats go crit, fusion, and attack on 4, 3, 1, and for subs go crit, energy until 110, 120 if you want to be safe, and then attack and skill bonus in that order. Now this is a real follow-up attacker. Mortefi can use either Moonlit or Empyrean depending on if you want more buffs or more personal damage. Either works, go for Heron with Moonlit and Hecate with Empyrean. Regardless of what set you choose, crit, fusion, and attack on 4, 3, 1, and for subs go for crit, energy until 120, attack and liberation damage. Encore is not changed at all from day 1. You still want to go Molten Rift of course, and then regular Inferno Rider. The same argument as Jiyan, where the energy from regular Inferno Rider can come in handy, and compared to Nightmare Inferno Rider who gives skill damage, regular Inferno gives basic attack. For main stats, crit, fusion, and attack on 431, and for subs, go crit, energy until 120, attack, and then basic damage. Chixia, on the other hand, wants to use the Nightmare Inferno Rider for the free stats, and likewise go Molten Rift. Stick to crit, fusion, and attack on 431 for main, and subs go crit, energy until 140, and then attack, and skill or liberation. Just prioritize crit, energy, and attack for the most part. Glacio time, and with Glacio comes the new lady Carlotta. I know I made a Carlotta video like a day ago, but in case you need a reminder, Carlotta's gonna make use of the Frosty Resolve Echo set with the Sentry Construct as her echo of choice. Go for crit, Glacio, or attack, and then attack on 431 respectively. 3 cost, it depends on if you have your signature weapon or not. When in doubt, just go Glacio damage on 3. Subs go crit, attack, and skill damage. If you have Zhezhi, you basically need 0 energy on Carlotta, but if you don't have Zhezhi, then get energy to 110. Speaking of Zhezhi, make use of the new Echo set Empyrean Anthem with Hecate as your main echo. You can still go Moonlit Clouds if you want, especially if you already have a good set on her, but I would advise making the push. For main stat, go crit, Glacio, and attack on 431, and for subs, go energy until 130ish, crit, attack, and basic attack %. On Zhezhi specifically, energy regen takes precedence over DPS stats. For Sanhua, stick to Impermanence Heron on the Moonlit Cloud set. She hasn't really changed all that much. As a reminder, Echo main stats go for crit, Glacio, and attack on 431 cost, and for subs, go for crit, energy until 110, then attack and skill in that order. She doesn't really benefit from any of the new Echo sets or new Echoes. Baizhi, on the other hand, has been altered a small amount since 1.0. Not because of 2.0, but because of 1.3. Rejuvenating Glow set of course, but you can choose either Bellborn Geochelon or the Fallacy of No Return, Shorekeeper's Echo. Regardless, healing bonus or HP on 4 cost, energy on 3, and HP on 1. For subs, energy, 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 and then HP. She's the easiest character to build bar none. Youhu is give or take the same thing, except you can actually build some DPS on her. Rejuvenating Glow, Bellborn, or Fallacy based on preference. Main stats go for crit, Glacio, and attack on 431. Substats go for crit, as much energy as you can get your hands on, and then attack and maybe skill afterwards. It's a strange combination of healing and DPS. Predictably, and unfortunately, Lingyang has not changed at all. Despite there being a new Glacio set, he is not compatible with it, so back to the usual. Freezing Frost or Lingering Tunes, whichever you prefer. Then for the Glacio set, go for Lampy Lumen or the Lumi skill construct if you have trouble with swap cancelling. Mech Abomination for Lingering Tunes. For main stats, go crit, Glacio, and attack on 4, 3, and 1, and for subs, crit, energy until 120 I'd say, attack, and then basic. Havoc time. Okay, for Roccia, technically she's not out yet, so when she comes out, come back to the video and check the pinned comment. I'll write down what to build on her there. That's assuming I don't forget. Someone please ping me on Discord when she comes out in case I forget. Anyway, let's move on. Camellya got some interesting stuff, not necessarily in the form of her, but in the form of her teammates. That being said, while she still makes use of Havoc Eclipse, her main echo changes to the Nightmare Crownless. Compared to regular Crownless giving skill damage, the Nightmare one gives you basic damage, so go for that. Main stats go crit 4 cost, Havoc or attack 3 cost, and then attack 1 cost. It depends on how good the echo subs are and if you have a signature weapon, but low key I would say go for attack. Mostly because of the new Havoc support set. Substats go crit, energy until 110, attack, and basic attack. Danjin can either do support or DPS. If you're going DPS, go Nightmare Crownless on the Havoc set. If you're going support, go for the new Midnight Veil. The reason I recommend attack on Camellya is because Midnight Veil gives Havoc damage to the incoming Resonator, so you're already pretty full up on Havoc damage on Camellya. Anyway, yeah, Danjin goes Dreamless with Havoc Rover and Lorelei or Nightmare Heron with Camellya. Main stats go crit, Havoc and attack on 431, and substats go crit, attack, and energy if you want to. Doesn't matter if you go DPS or support, the main and substats are the same. Taoqi's best set is gonna be either Moonlit Clouds or Rejuvenation with Heron and Bellborn respectively. Main stats go for crit, Havoc or defense, energy or defense, and defense on 4, 3, 3, 1 respectively. It's a bit confusing. Substats go crit, energy until I would say anywhere between 40 to 50, and defense. God, this character's a mess. Havoc Rover is exactly the same. They have a personal echo, so it's only logical we keep them in place. Dreamless on main echo with the Havoc Eclipse set. Crit, Havoc, and attack on main stats, and crit energy until 110ish and attack for subs. Keep it simple. Alrighty, last category Spectro. I think I'm losing my voice. Let's get through it. Jinhsi is basically the same. She too has a personal echo in the form of Zue, so keep them together. Celestial Light on echo set, and for main stats go crit, Spectro, and attack on 431. Substats go for crit, energy until roughly around 120-130, depends on how much time you spend on your teammates, and attack and skill damage. Verena has not changed at all. Whatever you have on her, keep on her, but assuming you're a new player just starting out, let's go through it quickly. Bellborn or Fallacy for main echo, Rejuvenating Glow for your set of course, and for main stats, Healing bonus on 4, Energy on 3, and Attack on 1. Substats go Energy and Attack, everything else you can ignore. Shorekeeper is also the same, although you can play around a bit. Main echo is Fallacy or Bellborn, I would prioritize Fallacy, Rejuvenating Glow for set. For main stats, you can either go HP, Healing bonus, or Crit damage on 4 cost, Energy on 3 cost, and HP on 1 cost. Subs go Energy, and you can also go Crit damage and then HP. In case you're wondering why Crit damage, I'll remind you that Shorekeeper has a guaranteed critical strike on her empowered intro skill, so it's free damage basically. You weren't going to do anything else with your substats anyway. Last but not least, Spectro Rover. Spectro Rover's gotten arguably the biggest change of the entire cast in that they basically got an echo set made specifically for them, Eternal Radiance. How it works is that the full set provides 20 crit rate and 15 Spectro damage bonus if you have Spectro Frazzle. This is a big boost in DPS if you plan to go down that route, in which case make your main echo the Nightmare Morning Ice, but you can always go for your typical support rover and go Impermanent Terran on Moonlit Clouds or Bellborn on Rejuvenating Glow, whatever the situation calls for. Either way, crit stats, Spectro and Attack on 431 for main stats, crit, maybe 110 energy, I would recommend it even with S4, attack, skill and liberation for subs. Alrighty, that wraps up every single character. A lot of material to go through, I'm sorry for rushing through it, but hopefully the word vomit on screen should be enough for you to just take a look at. You're welcome to ask any questions in the comments down below or even share your secret builds for any character if you feel like it. Obviously, as more characters and echoes come out, I'll have to update this again, but it should be good for quite some time. I hope you found this insightful, and if you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe would be much appreciated. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @VarsFarum, join my Discord server, and why not check out my review on Carlotta if you haven't yet. But till next time, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.